Thank you for tuning in. You're watching Burnham Podcast on YouTube or maybe on Rumble. You can also find it anywhere you listen to podcasts. So wherever you found it, know that you can find it other places too. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you like what you see, here's how you can help. Head over to patreon.com/Burnham Project. Thank you very much. So you've met this next guest before. He's a law enforcement officer, a fantastic jiu-jitsu player. Except that he's neither of those things right now. He's a little damaged. He's got an injury, but he's going to survive. We had a great time together. It was awesome having him back on the show. It was good to get to sit down and talk to him again. Jeriah Tucker, welcome to Burnham Podcast. I'm your host, Danny Burnham. Talk about this book.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're talking about a book. I don't know that we've ever really dove into a book before on the podcast.
You haven't?
I don't think so. I mean, not like besides the Bible, but yeah.
Well, you've apparently read this already.
I've seen it, man, but it's been I've read the first 2 chapters of 100 books. I think I finished this one, but it's been a long time. Yeah. So we're back with Jeriah Tucker once again. I should cover that part, and then we can get into the other stuff. So what'd you bring with you tonight?
So I brought this book. It's called Spiritual Disciplines for the Christian Life. It's written by Donald Whitney. I was telling Danny, I started reading this book earlier this summer, and I kind of did my thing like first couple chapters.
Yeah.
And tore my pec 2 months ago. Had a lot of downtime. Finished the book in no time, and it's an excellent read. I just want to share it with you. And Tango and everyone else, man.
Spiritual Disciplines of the Christian Life. Yeah. I love the forwards by Jeriah Packer. I love Jeriah Packer.
Yeah.
Read a bunch of his stuff.
Yeah, I ordered his other book too, Donald Whitney. It's called Pray in the Bible. It's a good book too. I'm about halfway through with it.
I've heard of that one. I've never read it.
It's good. So he basically gives a technique to praying, and he out of the gate, full disclosure, he's just like, look, we get bored with praying. He's like, people don't pray enough because they get so bored. They say the same things, and they just get into this monotonous loop. And, you stop, you get distracted. And he gives a technique, following the Bible, how to pray and to get out of that. And which I'm only halfway through with it, so I'm not like sure.
So you're still bored with praying at this point?
No, I do get bored with praying, but he's helping me through it. Yeah. You basically use the Psalms, because the Psalms were meant to be either sung or prayed.
Right.
And so if it's the first day of the month, you pick either Psalm 1, 30, 60, 90, 120, or 150.
Okay.
You pick from those. You just glance through it, pick one of those, and then you say you pick Psalm 1, you start in verse 1, read it, and then whatever it says, whatever comes to your mind, if it speaks about him, being loving or whatever it is, if that pops into your mind, I need to be more, you just start praying about it, then you go on down, go through, and eventually you've prayed through something that you would have never done before.
So in order to do this, you got to pray with your eyes open. I mean, to some degree. Yeah. So you can do that, right? You don't have to shut your eyes.
Yeah,
For those of you that like to drive and pray, you can do it with your eyes open. That's cool though, man.
Yeah.
But
and then if it's the second day of the month, pick either chapter 2, 31,
we're
61,
doing math now.
91, 120. Yeah, math. But so I haven't started it yet. But I'm going to finish the book, but I'm definitely going to do it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, we do, though. We get bored with praying, and we get up, and I catch myself doing it sometimes on Sunday mornings in front of the church, and you're saying the same prayer, and you're like, I'm pretty sure I said this the last 11 Sundays in a row.
Yeah.
I notice it, which means that they probably notice it, too, because I know they would if I preached the same sermon every week. Yeah. But that's a cool technique to get out, though.
It is. And something else is about praying is like it becomes like a competition.
Yeah.
When you pray out loud.
Yeah.
And then the Bible actually speaks specifically against, praying for show.
Yeah.
And, that's what I don't want to be. I always want it to be as sincere as possible,
Well, you should. I mean, that's the idea, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
But I know you've heard them, the people that they try to make a show out of it.
Our most gracious Heavenly Father.
They come up with some crazy stuff.
They do, man. But I don't know. I've heard people pray that way that I felt like had the best intentions, but like nobody talks that way, and we should talk to God with reverence and all those things. But nobody, neither one of us in this if we're here for 4 hours, neither one of us are going to say thee or thy. Like, it just ain't going to happen, not in a serious manner. No. But people start praying in the King's English, and like, okay, waiting on their British accent to come out.
But back to this book.
Oh, yeah.
So, funny how this thing even came to my attention. I don't remember why, but it just came to my mind one day. I just felt like I didn't have enough discipline as a Christian.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what brought that up. Just was an idea.
Well, it's probably a safe bet, right, for any of us that we're not disciplined enough.
Yeah. And so fast forward several months, I was at the Goodwill, and I always just kind of browse through the books. Yeah. I'm not a big reader, but I always look. And I see spiritual disciplines, and I was like, never heard of Donald Whitney, never heard of this book. And I was like, there it is. Pulled it out. It was $1.50. Bought it, started reading it, and this has probably been the most impactful read of my life.
$1.50 to change your life, right?
Yeah. So each chapter covers a biblical spiritual discipline that all Christians should follow.
Yeah.
And it goes through, evangelism, reading, journaling, tithing. Fasting.
Yeah.
That one's a hard one.
It is. Well, all that stuff is. Nobody Bible says the Lord loves a cheerful giver, so we should love to give, but nobody likes to.
Well, in reading that, he goes on to explain how giving is actually worship. It's a form of worship.
Yeah.
And that never had occurred to me, but the whole thing is just chock full of good stuff.
Yeah.
Man. It's such a good read. I actually was just showing it to Jason down there. He took a picture of it. I think he might get it, but
Jason's like reading junkie these days, and he's always been a student of whatever he was into. But man, every time I see him now, he's like, "Have you read this? I'm reading that. We should read this." And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, he's reading Robbie Gowdy's book too.
Yeah,
now.
Yeah. You mentioned him last time you were on.
I think. That's a good one too, man. All his stuff's good.
What was the title of that again?
The Forgotten Jesus.
The Forgotten Jesus. That's right. That's the name of his podcast too, right?
Yeah. It's mostly like it kind of just focuses on like the entire context of everything that was going on during that time, so that you have a better understanding of everything.
It's a big deal, man.
It is.
People don't get that.
Yeah, the better you understand the context of something, the more you understand it. There's just so much that happened that we read it today and we don't realize why things were said or done, and then you understand the context. Oh, well, that makes perfect sense now.
Well, and if we don't know context, there's so many things we see in Scripture that we try to make about us now, when in fact Paul was talking specifically to those people in that time or whatever it was.
And the Bible wasn't written to the United States.
What?
It just wasn't.
No.
Don't tell me you've had that conversation with someone.
All the time, dude. You're not in the Bible. We're not. I tell my congregation, every Sunday, just about. The Bible is not about us. It's a letter to us.
Mm-hmm.
You good? Get up on your mic a little bit or pull it to you, whichever.
What's up?
You good? You get better now? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
But yeah, so it's not, people want to look at David and see themselves. I'm going to go out here and kill this giant. Well, maybe not. It's a giant. He might kill you, And let's talk about what God's will is before we decide who we are in the Bible.
Yeah, in my Sunday school class, we were talking about Philippians 4 yesterday.
Oh, man. That's
a great chapter. But
it is.
4:13.
Yeah.
When the context of it.
Yeah.
He's not deeming you to be a super Christian. Yeah. That's not what it is.
I could run faster through Christ who strengthens me.
I can beat a black belt in this absolute tournament because of
right.
It's not what it's talking about. It's actually talking about Paul and his struggles. Yeah. And right before it, that's what he's talking about. He was
about to get executed.
Yeah, he was writing it from prison.
Yeah. And even this I can do through Christ who strengthens me.
But boy, you see that tattoo on somebody, they're fixing to take double gold.
They are, right? Yeah. Well, it's terrible. That's the most.
That and Matthew 7:1, probably the two most out of context taken.
You just got to keep reading. You just keep reading after that or a little before it even and get the context. And people take 2 words out of Matthew, though. Just those 2 words. That's all I need.
Yep. Live my life by it. We had a guy show up in court one time.
Oh, no.
Well, it didn't say the verse, but it said only God can judge me. He showed up to court. And that
should scare people to death. That's true, right?
Yeah.
God's going to judge us. Holy smokes.
What a way to minimize the ultimate judgment there.
Man.
Yeah.
My name, Daniel, literally means God is my judge. And like, that's the first thing I think about a lot of days when I wake up. I'm like, oh, okay, let's do this again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that only God can judge me. Holy smokes, man.
That should terrify you, bud.
Yeah. You can't live up to that. There's no way for us as humans.
Yeah, he came and our judge at the time was super cool. He was cool about it, but the people that like meet you at the door, they were like, "Hey, dude, probably shouldn't wear that."
Was like wearing a shirt,
T-shirt that said "Only God can judge me."
Was he on trial?
No, it was just city court.
Okay,
it was just like small stuff,
I got
like
you.
not you're going to prison.
Still, like you're walking in that building to receive a judgment, like a real judgment, with a guy in a black robe and a hammer and everything.
Oh yeah, you catch him on the right day. I mean, he can throw you in jail for a minute if he wanted to.
Yeah,
but he was
only
cool
God can judge me, or Judge Jones. Maybe he can too. Let's have this much humility. Yeah, not the best choice of shirts to wear to church, to court. Bless his heart.
You read any good books lately?
Oh man, I've got my nose in so many books. My dad gives me books. I don't know when he's semi-retired, so he's got way more time than me to read. But he goes through like 3 books a week, and as soon as he's done, I live next door, so he's like, "Come over here and get this book." I'm like, okay,
probably like I'm doing here with
this
right,
one. Exactly. Yeah. Patrick at the gym, I got 2 of his books that I'm halfway through.
Yeah,
so you got to read this. We'll talk about it. He gave me the first one was, I forget what the title even was, but it was essentially a comparison between Calvin and not Calvin.
Yeah.
And
has he already read it?
He had already read it. It was a Lutheran guy that was really trying to go against Calvinism. And like, what I got from the book was that the guy had lost a debate to a Calvinist, and then he turned around and wrote a book, like a diss track from a rapper.
Oh, dude, yeah.
But and then the other one was called "Serving God and Your Country," and it was about army chaplains in like World War II and the stuff they were going through. On top of, it's hard enough to be a pastor, and it's hard enough to be in a war, and you put those things together, and it's what's the stuff those guys were going through. And
I think I was there the day he gave you that book.
Probably.
I think it was, yeah.
But it's another one of those books that I'm halfway through, because I don't know how often it happens to you, but as a pastor, I bet I get 15 book recommendations a week. And at least that many podcasts.
Oh yeah.
And then 100 5-minute YouTube videos. Hey, check this out. You should put this in a sermon. Okay.
So have you looked into the audiobooks?
No, but I need to. I'm afraid I can't focus, and it's not like I'm, focused when I'm reading either. But
yeah, me too.
But I need to do that, because I've got time. I sit by myself for 6-8 hours most days, so I'm always listening to one thing or another. I should listen to less podcasts and more books.
I was on board with it till I realized they were like more expensive than the actual book.
For the ones
I looked up this one, it was more expensive, and then another one, it was more. I was like, nah, never mind.
I know that's what PJ does. He's big into audio. Yeah. PJ, I tell you, he's read all these books, but when he's driving back and forth to the gym, he's got them on audio. Yeah.
Well, I can go ahead and tell you, if I'm doing that, I'm not going to listen to it as good as if I'm.
That's what I worry about. Yeah. Especially if I got to spend more money than just buying the physical copy, because I don't know. I don't focus well, especially as I get older. I've had too many head injuries, I think, to pay attention anymore. But
I've learned in the last 2 or 3 years, I've probably got ADHD. That's what my wife tells me.
It happens.
She's a therapist, so I got to believe her.
Well, I mean, there's some value there.
The value to having ADHD?
Well, to having a therapist now.
For
her opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's probably some ADHD value of some kind, right? I mean, you're probably super productive.
Sleeping productive?
Super productive.
Oh, super productive. A
little bit here and there.
Yeah, that's what it is. My task management is not great.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, open this up. If I don't predetermine where I'm going to read to, I'll get 2 pages in, and I'm like, do the dishes. Go to the dishes.
Yeah.
And then halfway through, glance in the corner. Oh, I need to do that. And then before you know it, you've got 8 things going.
Right.
And then nothing's done.
Right. So, none of them. You're doing 8 things, and none of them are done, or maybe not even done well.
No.
What little bit's been done.
But since she's pointed out, I've noticed, I do get hyper fixated on things.
Yeah.
Particular book, movie.
Yeah.
A task, hobby, whatever, and then it just will fade. And then it's just gone. But and if it's done, if you utilize it right, you can you can make some progress with it.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I got though.
Yeah. Oh, they're finding it in adults these days. Apparently, used to not be a thing. Like we didn't talk. Nobody mentioned it until like the 90s probably.
Well, I remember kids. Yeah,
it was.
I'm one of them.
You took Ritalin.
Tango's
took Ritalin.
Kid over here.
All of it.
Oh
he
yeah. Well,
see, that sucker was wild.
Yeah. When I was in elementary school, this is no joke. When I was in elementary school, I had this really old teacher, and I guess that was because this was in the 90s.
Yeah.
There was the teacher was older, and there was a guy that was taking the Ritalin or something, and he had to like leave class at a certain time and go to the nurse down the hall and get it. And he comes back, and the teacher was like so against it. She said, "That Ritalин's gonna fry your brain," in front of the whole class.
That's a great way to get fired these days.
Oh, dude, she straight up said it, and that was like my only like real. I didn't even know what it was. I just knew that he has to take medicine.
I remember, man. There was 1 or 2 kids when I, in 3rd grade that were on medicine, and now like half the room is or whatever.
Quote, on medicine.
On medicine. Yeah.
It was. I guess Ritalin. Was there any more?
Ritalin, Adderall, and Concerta. I think they pulled Concerta at some point.
Yeah.
Because that one turned kids into zombies.
There was something else, though, that was before Ritalin, I feel like, and I don't remember what it was, but the 2 friends that I knew in elementary school that were on medicine were on whatever it was.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I was having a discussion about this today about some people that don't think that's a real thing.
ADHD?
Yeah. Or mental disorders or, anything at all.
Oh, they don't think.
There's from some weird religious
bro
sect of a cult that's called them a cult. Then
let me take you to a town called Cedartown, and I'll show you some mental illness.
Right? I mean, you guys.
It's going to be hard to not
work. You see it, but I mean, to say that it's not possible for there to be like a chemical imbalance in the brain.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's drug induced,
okay. I got a guy that lives down the same road as me. You could drive by his house right now. I promise you, he's standing outside and in the corner of his yard, reading off some paper. He does it sun up to sundown. He reads off. It goes through like when I first moved in my house, it was a phone book, and then
it's just any old paper.
And then like after that, I noticed it was like something like he had handwritten. And when you drive by, he spits at your car and like barks at you or like blows snot out of his nose. Yeah,
all right.
That. Probably something. Yeah, he's not doing that just because he wants to.
There's a guy out here I bump into on the street sometimes, and he imagines that one of his feet gets stuck to the sidewalk.
Does he sit on the bench all day?
Not the same guy.
Okay.
No. That dude's super mellow.
Really, because I've dealt with him at work one time.
Yeah, this is a different cat. Yeah. He's just walking, and you'll see him, and he stops, and it's like he's riding a skateboard, and he's trying to get his other foot going. I'm like, bro.
Yeah. There's a guy in Cedartown that just pushes a wheelchair everywhere he goes. No one's in it. Just he up and down Main Street.
Yeah.
Pushing a wheelchair.
It's a real thing, man. And to think, that we used to have facilities. There was a big one here in Rome where people like that would go. And
Northwest Regional.
Now they're just in the street or in schools, the younger folks. And God bless them.
What was it, like 07 or 08 when all the mental hospitals got shut down?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
That's about when you started seeing them just out meandering around.
Yeah.
It's not their fault.
No.
I mean, they can't help it. A lot of them it's drug induced, but we know that like certain people have predispositions to mental illness.
Right.
Like they might be 18 years old and be completely normal.
Yeah.
Well, they try meth and it just... There it goes.
Right.
Like they just activated that whatever it is in their brain, that predisposition, and then now they have it. Like for instance, the dude at the end of my road, my neighbor has lived down the same road for all his life, and he told me that dude was normal.
Used to be.
Used to be normal. Yeah, and he said he thinks he got on some whatever drugs, and there he went.
Well, and I got a different perspective. I used to think. Everybody that was addicted to drugs deserved it because they did something stupid, why would anybody ever try meth? Well, most people don't just try meth. Yeah. It's, I spent time in West Virginia and all these guys that worked in coal mines or been lumberjacks or whatever, and 100% of them had been injured.
Yep.
And their doctors just throw pills at them because they hurt. And then one day the pills are gone and you got to cope somehow. So you go find... whatever's out there to take care of it. And now you're on meth or heroin or, one of those things. But it's not like he asked for that.
Mm-hmm.
He's just trying to not hurt.
Yeah. When I had my surgery, before I had the surgery, like just going there and like discussing it, the MRI and stuff, they asked me like 3 times per visit, you need anything for pain? And I told him no.
Yeah.
And then he asked me again. He was like, do you need anything more than what you can get over the counter? And I was like, nah, I think I'm good. And he was like, oh, I thought you said it hurt real bad. I was like, oh, it did hurt very bad, but I don't need that. And then, so of course, after the surgery, they give it to you, and I took it then. And then I've had like 2 follow-up visits since the surgery, and both time, like literally, I haven't even made it to the doctor. Like I meet the nurse or whatever in the hallway, and she's like walking me there, like checking off the clipboard. The first thing she asked both time, need anything for pain? And I'm like, no. Like, what is this? How much money do you get for me saying yes?
There's got to be a lie, right?
Yeah.
I mean, why else would they just do that all the time?
I'm like, this is how it starts.
Yeah.
Like, I guess.
Yeah. Because, I mean, how easy would it be for you to go, yeah, this hurts?
All I'd have to do is exaggerate it.
Yeah.
Like, I could just be like, oh, it hurts so bad.
Sound like you don't even have to exaggerate. They'll just give them to you if you tell them it hurts.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it does hurt.
Yeah,
but I'm not,
sure
like,
it does.
going to take that. I don't know.
No, you know, give me some Tylenol or knock me out all the way, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
Just throwing pills at people these days.
Yeah. But the people on drugs, they don't, like, I'm like you. I used to have a extremely harsh point of view, but like I've been in it long enough to kind of see it, like the progression go for people. Yeah. And like a lot of them were decent people, man. Yeah. It's just like, and 9 times out of 10, they're coping for something. I mean, they either lost everything or they have no family or whatever it might be. You know, they're depressed, peer pressure, you know, there's a host of different reasons why. And it's like, do you like the fact they broke in your tool shed and stole your fuel? No, I don't. No. And that infuriates me. But, you know, the fact that they're addicted, I don't think that they wanted to end up that way.
Nobody. I don't think nobody looks for that and has that dream. I want to be, you know, there used to be the commercial that said, nobody ever says I want to be a junkie when I grow up, you know.
Yeah.
Nobody's asking for that. Yeah. But that's life. And I don't know. We can't, I had a conversation about this very thing earlier today, and it just, you know, what do you do with these people? And we've almost incentivized homelessness in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. And it just allows people to continue to live like that, but they're comfortable where they are. So what do you do with them? And
well, yeah. And like in the big cities, the homeless, like what is the fix to that? Like, what do you have a solution? Because I don't
know. At this point, I don't know that that's a genie you can put back in the bottle.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know where the town the size of ours, you could just razz them until they left. You could you couldn't make them. In theory, you could make all these churches stop feeding them and all these places, you know, stop giving them clothes and all this stuff, and they would find somewhere else to go. But like short of that, I don't know what you do.
I don't know either. Because like, I have a friend that recently moved to Alabama, and the neighboring city of his opened a big, like, homeless shelter.
Yeah.
And then the city realized that the surrounding cities and counties were picking up their homeless and just driving them over there and dropping them off. Yeah. So they inherited, like, the whole surrounding jurisdiction's worth of homeless. And they're like, look, guys, we can't do this now.
Yeah.
Like, you know. Oh, man. And I'm thinking, that's just so hard to deal with.
All you can do, I guess, is work on like the individual level. Like maybe you can help one, and maybe you can share the gospel with him and make some inroads there. And maybe he understands that even though he's got all of his needs taken care of, as long as he lives under this tarp in the park or whatever, like he's good with that. Maybe he gets to the point through the gospel message that he realizes this is not the life we're supposed to live.
Yeah.
And wants to turn things around. And, you know, there are some facilities and things available for addiction recovery and stuff like that. But it's the person's got to want to go.
Yeah, they do. They have to want to. And I think most people have probably had a negative interaction with a homeless person.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Like a guy that worked with my dad, he was like the youth pastor at his church. And this dude here, man, he was a sharp-tongued guy. He's dead now, but he was off the hip. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like he could let you have it. And he said he was driving the church van full of the whole youth group, and they see the dude out there with a sign, hungry, you know. So they pulled into like Jack's. He got like, you know, $20, $30 worth of food.
Yeah.
pulls over, gets out, and he's like, "Hey man, I see your son. We got you. Just it's from us. Here's our church. If you want to come by." And the guy was like, I want money. And he was like, well, man, we can't just give you cash, but we went ahead and bought you some food. Its sign says you're hungry.
Yeah.
Dude starts getting irate, and he was like, man, I had to bite my tongue. I just got back in the van, drove off. Well, he starts driving off, and the dude takes the back and just threw it at the back of the van. Hamburgers, like ketchup and mustard on the back glass. And he was like, Bubba, I had the whole van full of people back there. He's like, there's no way I could have said what I wanted to say. But yeah. Yeah. And then there was a guy that they were telling me showed up at Scramble the other day and just went in there and was like, I need food and money. Like, you're going to have to give it to me type way.
That probably wasn't the place to go,
yeah.
Try to bully people.
Yeah. So they were like, well, we don't have food and we don't have cash, but like there's restaurants down the street I'm positive that would be willing to assist you. And he's like, I've already asked him, you can't do that. And he's like, well, we don't have anything here. And he's like, and then he makes a comment, I'm about to the point where I'm going to have to just steal for it. And he's like, well, don't steal from us.
Right.
Making comments like that isn't going to get you anywhere.
No, well, especially not in a jiu-jitsu school.
No.
Right? I mean, that's not the place you want to go try to shake people down.
Given the person he was speaking to, I don't think he wanted to.
Those people are skilled in violence,
Mm-hmm. Even Ayla, man, I think she probably would have choked this dude out.
Man, Ayla had a situation today. Let me tell you about Ayla. And
oh, tell me.
There was a grown adult man who would never have been so rude had I been in the room with him. Said some not like super inappropriate, just rude, ugly, stuff. It was a long story. We'll get into it later. And Ayla said that she knew that it didn't matter what he had to say because she could separate him from consciousness. She had the ability to do that. And I said, okay, that's cool. Well, it's good that you were able to contain yourself, understanding that she could have choked this guy to sleep. This grown man, and
she could.
Okay, so if you're listening out there, arm your daughters with the ability to fight, not McDojo martial art light, like violence, actual violence. Because you never know when they'll use it or need to use it, or when they'll say, hey, you know what? I could choke this man to sleep if I wanted to, but I don't have to.
Well, that right there, what she said, is what I think is one of the big fixes for bullying.
Yeah.
Like, teach a bully how to fight, and they're more than likely not going to want to fight. Yeah. Because, a bully is, they're making up for, a deep-rooted self-insecurity. I mean, that's just what it is.
Yeah, they're compensating.
Yeah, they're compensating. And if you teach them to fight, they're not going to feel so insecure. I mean, that's just... Like her, she could have choked that dude out, but she has confidence in her ability. She does it 3 nights a week here, chokes people out. I mean, so she's not going to do it. She's very limited, It's like, what is it that Jordan Peterson says? A man that's of skilled violence man that contains it is the best,
Yeah, it's about being harmless or weak, I guess.
Yeah.
The ability to do harm, but
contains
it. Control not to.
Yeah.
And can you find that quote, Tango?
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's going to burn me up.
It's a real good one.
Yeah. But it's true though.
Yeah.
If you have that ability and you can keep it reined in and you understand it doesn't matter what that guy says. Your words aren't really going to hurt me, because if you came at me physically, it'd be a different story.
Yeah.
You got it?
I think you're referring to you should be a monster and learn how to control it.
Let's read it off.
Yep.
That was the quote.
Was it?
You should raise your son to be an absolute monster and teach him how to control it.
Yeah. That's it.
Go.
That's it. You've raised Ayla to be a monster.
And
she can control it. Yeah.
Yeah. Bless her heart.
That last tournament she did, her age, they put them like boys and girls.
Yeah.
She's out there just wrecking those little boys. Man, I'm thinking this whole jiu-jitsu thing is so good and healthy and everything, but in the mind of that little 14-year-old kid getting tapped out by Ayla,
that's tough.
Probably does not feel so good about himself.
He either quit jiu-jitsu or he went back and hit the gym and became a monster.
Cried in his corner, man.
I feel bad, man, and we have quit. We've decided we're not putting her in tournaments with boys anymore. Like, we're just not going to. Because she's to the point now, like, she's 15.
Yeah.
A 15, 16-year-old boy is way different when she was 12, you know.
Yeah,
like, okay,
it's more even. Yeah, 15, they have facial hair. So,
yeah. If you can lose a match to puberty at that age, you know, the guy with the beard or the mustache wins over the babyface kid.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a great skill to have.
Yeah.
And you hope you never have to use it, but, like, it's not just for dark parking lots, you know. It's for
right. Yeah.
It's for that self-control and that confidence. Like you were even saying with the bully typically doesn't want to fight. He wants you to think that he's bad enough that you won't try to fight him.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, if he's got that ability and that confidence in himself, then he's not concerned with how bad you think he is.
Yeah.
The big dog doesn't have to tell people he's the big dog.
He does not. No.
So there's a lot to be said for that. We could go into a scrambled Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and wrestling commercial if we need them to sponsor the show anyway.
Yeah.
They doing a bunch of slackers. God bless them.
But anyway, about the torn pec.
Yeah, we've tied things together, right? You mentioned a few minutes ago that you were hurt and had surgery.
Yeah.
What happened?
So it was like August 26th or whatever. We were having our in-house tournament, the white belt, blue belt, purple belt, whatever of the year, and no fault, nobody's fault but mine. But there was just so many people on the mat that like I didn't have time to warm up. There was no room to warm up, and I didn't make the provisions to like force myself to be warm. And so I drew my first opponent. We go, and like 3 seconds later, I've reached out.
No time at all.
Yeah, I've reached out and something like this, and kind of tugged myself.
Yeah.
And I heard it, felt it, instantly knew, and that was a wrap.
Who are you rolling with?
Man, I don't even know his name. He doesn't train that often. Darian. Darian's his name.
Darian.
Yeah, him.
Okay.
Darian.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was him. And hadn't even got started yet. Literally like 3 seconds.
I know I was rolling with Casey, and we were, this far away from you, and we both were like, "Hey, stop! I think something's wrong." And sure enough, you were hurt, man.
Dude, I knew it instantly. Like the pain was like unbelievable. Like I tried not to make a scene because I don't want the attention. Just wanted to like, it doesn't feel right, But I knew something was up.
Yeah.
And it would hit me in waves. Like I would have the urge to like just fall out of consciousness.
You looked pretty bad there a couple times.
Hurt bad, man. I got a picture of it like right after it happened. You could see the tendon running across the thing.
Was so bad.
Yeah.
It
but
was so bad.
I knew it was torn and whatever, but went and got an MRI done the next Monday or Tuesday, because this was a Friday.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Yep, high grade partial tear." And he was like, "You're going to need to have surgery because if you don't, you'll run the risk of it being like a complete tear in the future."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Given how young you are and you're not going to stop being active, it's probably going to happen."
Yeah. So. And you would hate for that. Like it happened in jiu-jitsu at the gym when people could, you could tell your opponent to stop or whatever. But, man, if you're on the street as a cop, something like that happens, that's bad.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about that.
I know.
I hadn't thought about that.
So I said all that to say don't be a hero and try to run back. I know you're smarter than that. I feel like you are. But
no, he's got me out of work and out of training for at least 6 months.
So this has been, you had your surgery the first week of September.
September 5th.
And it's now the first week of November.
Yeah, so today is so yesterday was 2 months.
Yeah. So you got 3-4
more
months.
Yeah. But he, I don't know like what the difference is with healing, but after the surgery, he told me that typically they anchor it to this bone on your arm with 2 anchors, but he put 3 on me because he said I had a bigger pec muscle.
Here we go.
But I don't know that I don't know that changes up the healing. I know it hurts a lot right there.
Well, if you got more muscle that has to heal, I guess. I mean, if your muscles are yay big, it doesn't take long.
Yeah.
I guess. I'm no doctor.
But
don't take medical advice from me.
Yeah. I was like, bro, I weigh 180 pounds. Like, I'm not
solid
big.
rock, though. Yeah.
No. But yeah, there's 3 anchors in it instead of 2. Yeah.
You were atypical. How about that?
I guess. And he told me the incision was only going to be like 8 centimeters. Then I woke up, and then 3 days later, we could take the stuff off of it and see it. I was like, what in the world? There was 11 staples.
Oh.
That is way more than 8 centimeters.
Man.
But I guess that was because of the extra anchor. I don't really know.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. I'd have to have somebody explain it to me. I don't know.
But that's what happened, so I haven't been training any.
But you're not in your sling, though.
No, that was only for, I think, 4 to 6 weeks.
I was going to say, last time I saw you, you were in your sling, but it's been 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was only for 6 weeks, I think.
Yeah. Well, good.
Yeah, after about the third week, it kind of seems pointless. Like the way they explained it to me was like, even though it doesn't seem like you need to have it in there, like gravity pulling down on it constantly will like damage it where it's been anchored. So I get that, but like, it seemed like I was just like a bum wearing a sling. Like, hey, give me a couple bucks.
Feel kind of useless.
Yeah,
right?
I can move it.
Now, are you right-handed?
No, I'm actually left-handed.
Okay, so it wasn't your dominant side.
No. That was the one good thing about it.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a good way to tear your pec, that's the way. Do it on your non-dominant side.
Yeah. Definitely wouldn't recommend tearing your pec, though.
No, I would advise against if I, just had got to choose. But don't tear.
Definitely warm up too, which I always do. Like I never don't. Warm up.
It was so crazy, man. There was I don't know if I even stretched, like even in the least. We just walked out there.
Well, there was so many people on the mat, there wasn't room to like. It would have almost looked. I don't know the word for it. Like there's no, not even any seating room, and then you're just running around doing jumping jacks. Like you know what I mean? Like it would almost look bad to be like hogging that much space.
I know, to be running laps when there's people out there in blue jeans.
Yeah, like shoulder to shoulder. Like.
Yeah.
But it's no one's fault but my own. I should have went out on the sidewalk and ran if I want to be warm. So.
Yeah. Just get loose, get the blood flowing a little bit.
But I always warm up, man. Like I warm up in the gym because I work out every day. Like I never not warm up because you need to.
Yeah.
And I always do. But the one time I don't.
I mean, it goes to show you the importance of the good old warm up.
Yeah. Well, the extra blood to like wherever it is in your body gives elasticity.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the science behind it.
Yeah.
So it keeps you from being injured. It's not as stiff, but.
It's just the same reason they keep the gym down the street 200 degrees, right?
Yeah,
that's what they say, so you won't get hurt or whatever.
Yeah. I think that's, like, the heat is good to a point, but, like, and I've argued this with PJ. I'm like, how do you mitigate dehydration?
It's tough, right?
Sweating out your electrolytes?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care how, like, hard-headed or stubborn I am. If I'm dehydrated, there's probably not much I can do to, you know what I mean? Like,
right, yeah, I'm just out of gas. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm
warm. My muscles aren't tearing because I'm warm, but I'm passed out because I don't have any water.
Yeah, I'm passed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brain is dehydrated. I'm in a high risk for a concussion now.
Yeah, right.
I mean, and I'm gonna get a cramp or like.
You listen to this, PJ. Turn
he
it
might
down
be.
some.
He ain't listening.
Hot. Where's Colby? Colby will help us.
He's the one that goes to bat for me on it because he thinks the same thing.
Colby's on our side.
Well, like John Danaher's gym, they don't train in 1,000,000 degrees.
Do they not?
No, they don't. They don't.
I don't know. There's a fine line. I remember, when I coached wrestling, we try to keep the room warm.
Yeah.
But man, there's a line between like nice and warm and like lawsuit, at least in public school, when I was coaching. But
man, did y'all ever make it rain in your room?
No, it was never that bad. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it used to happen.
So much builds up, it drips from the
It
ceiling.
used to happen every night at the old scramble.
Yeah.
Like you'd be on your back and somebody's got you in side control and water's dripping on your forehead. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it happens in the new place some too. But
yeah, man, I remember they put they would take trash bags and tape them over the water fountains so that no one could get any water.
It's a great way to get sued and fired.
Yeah, I guess they can't do that now.
No, probably not. But I mean, I don't know. You get some of that when you get into combat sports, some of that weight cutting, and I don't know. You can't deny a kid water, and you probably just shouldn't let him cut down 40 pounds either.
No, weight cutting's not a good idea.
It's not. I don't know. High school does a better job. And when I first started coaching wrestling, it was just Wild West. You just weigh whatever you weighed. And then my second or third year in, they implemented like hydration testing.
Yeah, we did that.
And they gave you like a baseline, like this is the lowest you can go and still be healthy or whatever. And like, okay.
I can't remember what it was. Our coaches told us to either like don't drink anything or like drink a ton before you take that test. I can't remember which it was. Because we all got on the bus and I think we went to either Darlington, one of the schools up here in Roman did it.
Yeah. There were 2 or 3 places right here.
Yeah, and I can't. They told us to do so to give yourself more leeway for cutting weight.
Yeah,
but
wanted to go in there having cut as much as possible with as much water as possible.
Yeah, that's
so
probably
you would
what
be
it was.
hydrated but
Yeah.
not fat.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's terrible for you though, man.
It is,
weight
man.
so bad.
I remember getting home. So like we would weigh in at practice and then weigh out. And I remember I had lost like 8 pounds in a practice.
Yeah.
And then we had a match the next day, and the coach was like, "Don't eat anything."
Okay.
So yeah, I'm like,
You just go out there and get ragdolled.
yeah. So I went home. I was like, "Man, forget you." So I went home, poured a big glass of sweet tea, instantly just chugged
Yes.
it, and then
gained
immediately
11
just
pounds.
threw it all up. Like the moment it hit the back of my throat, instant gag, like straight back
no.
out, pure like tea.
Blah.
Yeah, I mean, I was, and then now looking back, I'm like, yeah, because I had just dehydrated myself
Yeah.
and not. I'm so stupid. Because like when I was in high school, I had weightlifting class, had welding, and wrestling practice,
Ugh.
and then I would
So
eat.
just a million degrees, working
Yeah,
hard
like
for
yeah,
5 hours.
and then I would eat like the little meal they give you at lunchtime.
Right, yeah. They give you
Nothing.
200 calories.
Yeah, and I was going and doing that. I'm looking back. I'm like, that is the dumbest.
It's a
way.
miracle like people survive.
I don't see how I wasn't so injured.
I guess because everybody else was doing it too. I don't know.
Or I was 17.
Yeah, we were a little more elastic then. We
Mm-hmm.
didn't tear muscles just because we didn't warm up. It was, you get old faster than you think, as it turns out. Are you 30 yet?
Yeah, I'm 31.
Okay.
Yeah, I just turned 31 in October.
I knew you were in that ballpark.
Yeah.
You're there now, man.
Oh, my life's over.
Stuff's just going to start hurting.
Yeah.
You don't know why. It's just,
Yeah.
you're right behind
he
him,
thinks
Tango.
that's
Hey,
funny.
laughing
How old are
at him.
you?
28.
Yeah,
28?
there
Yeah,
you go.
you're there.
He's knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Round in the top of the hill.
Yeah.
PJ's a month older than me.
Well, his birthday is Wednesday.
Wednesday night, I'm going to have to
Yeah.
go to a no-gi class.
Yeah, I was about to
guess.
say, you should
Got
go.
to.
Yeah. He said he's going to do a 5-minute round with everyone that wants.
So anybody that listening to this worldwide, if you can be in Rome, Georgia on Wednesday night.
by the time this gets dropped,
Yeah, I know. It'll be.
We can drop just this promo.
We'll
to
put that
go
on a
beat him
YouTube
up.
short and roll it
Yeah.
out there. Rome, Georgia,
Yeah.
Wednesday night,
Open.
November the 8th.
Yep. Open invitation.
209, 216 Broad Street. Yeah, come on
Yeah.
by. Challenge our black belt for 5 minutes. It'll be fun. Yeah, he's gonna roll with everybody that'll show up.
Have you been able to train much?
No, I haven't. Man, I've been in the gym like 3 or 4 times since you got hurt, since the seminar.
Well, you've logged more sessions than I have. So.
Man, I trained like 5 times that week though.
Yeah, really.
I was in there, yeah, because we had
Yeah.
there was a Friday morning thing, and then the Friday night stuff, and the seminar, and I was there. I think Tuesday and Thursday that week. So I was like Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then like one of the mornings too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I've been in there like 3 times since.
Well,
Just stuff, man.
oh yeah.
Just I feel better though when I can exercise. I got to make time for it, but
Yeah.
my kids don't understand what it means to just get into bed and go to sleep at night. So I'm up till like 11, and the alarm goes off at 5, where I could go into that 6 o'clock class. And I go, you know what? It's just
Oh,
not
are you
gonna-
going to 6 a.m. class?
I've been to a few,
Oh, okay.
but man, it's tough. I'm old now, so I got to sleep. And
Peter's going.
I know Peter's going to wax all of us in this tournament.
You're doing that, right?
I mean, I said I would, so
well,
we'll
good.
see. Yeah.
Good. That's
I
gonna be
got
fun.
I got 24 days to get ready, I guess.
Dude, I am so looking forward to that.
That's gonna be fun. It's a 40 and over tournament
Yeah.
for I guess for white belts and blue belts.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
What have you seen the trophy that
No,
are going to win?
no.
Okay. Pat came up. I don't know if he wants everyone to see it or
Probably not.
not. But he came up.
Be.
Yeah, he came up with a really creative trophy for that. It's funny, man.
Is it like a big thing of like Geritol or
Close.
Metamucil?
Yeah, you're in the ballpark.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Centrum Silver. Bless his heart.
Yeah.
But it'd be fun. I mean, it's otherwise like we go in like I'm blue belt of the year, and it's like me and Chris Davis and Anthony and Randy Roden. You know,
Yeah,
like
it's like,
okay,
dude,
guys,
this
here
ain't
we
fair.
go. Like I'm
Yeah.
twice their age and
Yeah.
way fatter and all that good stuff.
Uh,
Wasn't a good athlete when I was an athlete.
There's enough of people 40 and over that there can actually be a real thing
Yeah.
done now. I mean,
Yeah, there's a bunch of
there's
us.
a bunch of y'all.
Yeah. I hadn't been training at all. I'm just gonna I'm in it for the free T-shirt. That's all.
Me and Pat were talking the other day, like what if we charged like a $5 admission to come watch, and then like give the money to not Peters, Williams.
Oh yeah, get his charity.
Yeah, his charity.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah,
I'd be in on that. That's worth $5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, it's worth more than $5. I got to get William on. We keep saying, "Hey, you can come on," and he's like, "Hey, when we get done with this, whatever, I'll be available." But life, William's a busy guy too. But yeah, I'm in on that.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, his what is this thing called? Summit Quest.
Yeah, Summit Quest.
I got you.
Is it for cancer patients' families?
Is that what it is?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it came from him losing his dad, and I'll spoil the whole episode if I'm not real careful.
Yeah.
I'll get him on eventually, but
yeah. I don't want to misquote it, but I think it's for like the cancer patients and their families, or their families after a cancer patient has passed or something.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure what it is. I need to look into it some more.
Sure
Just get him on and have him explain it. William, when you're listening to this, holler at me. We'll get you on. But William's a solid dude, though. He's got a good thing going over there, and we need more folks in the world like him.
Yeah, we do. Definitely do. There's a lot of good people at Scramble.
There are, man.
A lot of good.
There are.
There's
a lot of people now that are good that weren't when I started training there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people you can have, like Christian conversations with in there now.
Yeah. It's a different landscape there. And it's cool, nobody's gonna jam it down your throat as soon as you walk in the door and be like, "Hey, we're the Jesus Jiu-Jitsu gym." But but that conversation's there if you want to have it, which is it's really cool, man.
Yeah. Well, it was nice, like especially the Sunday that Jason got baptized. Everyone was there, man. It was so nice. It was really special.
Yeah, I couldn't get off work because I work on Sunday mornings.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
but we hustled over there as soon as ours was. We go pretty early. Still missed the baptism, but we were there, for the big picture at the end. It was cool.
It was a good service.
Yeah. And then Anthony got baptized too, and
yeah, that's right.
I got to go to that one. That was
I didn't make it to his, but
see, you missed out. See, Anthony goes. This is gonna get us kicked straight off of you. Anthony goes to Black Church. And they have church all day long.
Yeah, they do. They do. That's like So
I was like, I got plenty of time. I'll make it up there.
That's like Chris Tucker's little bit he says about that. He was like, yeah, when you leave a Black church service, they say, all right, come back tonight. And then he's like, it's already tonight.
It was cool though. I went. I had forgotten how many people I knew that go to his church. I went to school with a bunch of them way back, and I hadn't seen those guys in forever. And some of them were getting baptized, and it was great to be there. That was a little cherry on the top to see some of those people that had come to faith, and it was good stuff. I was glad I made it.
Yeah. So we were talking earlier about the article you sent me.
Holy smokes, man.
Yeah.
You had a chance to read any of that?
Yeah, I read into it. I remember it happening. Like when you sent it to me, it just didn't click which one it was. But yeah, I remember that happening. I read into it.
So we're talking about the shooter at the Christian school in Nashville. And you guys will be listening to this on Sunday, but on the Monday before, you'll remember Steven Crowder released her manifesto. They got leaked to him, and the police are not happy about that. I was listening to I guess it was the police chief in Nashville give a news conference as I was driving up here, and they're not happy that the thing got leaked. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? They were like, it's not a real thing, but
it's not good. I mean, it's we can't read it, but out loud. But
right.
We as law enforcement, we should use that as a way of educating ourselves of how to limit these things from happening in the future.
Yeah.
Like we see what she or he, I don't know which, it was a transgender. I don't know if it was.
I'm not sure which direction we were going.
We see what they put on there, and it's like, we know that a lot of that stuff gets leaked to the internet before it happens. Like how many times did this stuff happen, and then like people later say, oh yeah, he or she was saying, this, that, and they
made a Facebook post. Yeah.
Like Tim Kennedy has a part of that group called a Double Check, and that's what they do. It's among the gun distributors. They have that group, and anytime something like that is leaked or whatever, it gets reported and it goes within their own system. So like anytime a person goes in there to buy a gun, he can search their name and then see if he's been flagged within their own little system called Double Check.
Yeah.
And then they can like deny the sale and then like, report whatever it is. Yeah, but because like the dude in Maine, Tim said on that podcast the other day, he was like, yeah, that person actually had tried to buy a suppressor
Yeah.
prior to that, and then he accidentally told them, hey, I just got out of a mental institution, and then they didn't
You don't get
sell
to buy
it
a
to them.
suppressor. Yeah.
Yeah, but
this is the difference here is that the shop owner has the ability to deny the sale. This is not the government going, oh, you can't buy this gun.
yeah,
So private sale, you can stop. But
yeah, it's not the government doing it.
I
But
just want to put that out there and make sure my Second Amendment people were up to
yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah.
What you got, Tango?
No.
You had the mic up and everything. You were like ready to go. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think everyone should have a gun, but I don't think that crazy people should have guns. I just,
Man, yeah.
Hard line.
It is, right? To say, I mean, because then who gets to decide who's crazy?
exactly.
You know?
Like, I mean, like the red flag gun law stuff, like, I understand the spirit of it.
Yeah.
I just don't like, you know what I mean? Like giving them that inch, you know, the
They're gonna
miles
take
coming.
that mile.
Yeah, and
Well,
it's like,
who are they going to ask to go over and get that guy?
it ain't gonna be me. I'm not doing it.
Right.
I'm just not.
Yeah.
But it's just the whole like active shooter, school shooter thing. There's a lot of moving parts to it.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, like one of the I took a class on this in college, so I mean, I've looked into it a little bit, but like one of the things that's common among almost all of them is they're on like some kind of doctor prescribed medication, like SSRIs or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, there's that factor that's almost always
Right. Almost
present.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, but the way that the facts get skewed is like, I think the legal definition of like a mass shooting is one where like 3 or more people get killed.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is these school shooters, their statistics get piled with the gang violence shooters. So it all gets bunched together.
Right.
So when you add all that together, it doesn't look like that's the thing. And then they're able to spin it and say, oh, the common denominator is the gun. That's what they do. And then they can run with that argument when it's like
not the drugs at all. Right.
But these school shooters aren't gang members. They're not going in there and doing this to just as some part of a gang initiation.
Right.
I mean, it's totally different
No,
stuff.
the person in Nashville was all by themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, according to what was written in the,
it was.
the manifest, like, that's.
Well, I mean, she also like even openly said, "Look, I didn't think I would make it this far because she thought she had got caught in 21, which is
Yeah.
that's a
whatever.
red flag, guys. Like,
Right.
where was that?
Yeah. I mean, like, I think that like one potential avenue to explore is like some sort of like mandated reporting system among whoever. I don't know who it would be. Maybe law enforcement. I don't know. But like when you see the signs, like if ever, like, like I mean, people pretty much stay on top of it now. Like here recently, you know, like our schools have been shut down over a kid posting on Snapchat like, "Don't show up tomorrow," because you know, like, and they'll shut the school down. Like we have our own school police district, you know, like force, you know, a whole department, but they're not everywhere. I mean, like that school didn't have one, you know, and. But
it's a private school too, so I mean they probably had a guy, you know, that sits out front in the guard booth or whatever. And
did they have?
Or maybe not.
I don't think they did.
They
the video. So I remember seeing the video of it.
I thought that's why she chose that school
because there was no security.
Yeah, there's not one. Yeah.
she went there.
Yeah. The video. I remember seeing the video of that dude.
Yeah.
The police response to it was like A+.
Yeah.
Textbook.
Yeah, as good
like
as
there
you
is a
asked for.
specific response that law enforcement is trained to do. Dude, theirs was perfect. Like you can compare that video to the one. What was it? Is it Brevard, Florida?
In Florida, where they didn't go inside.
Yeah, there was it Brevard or whatever?
Texas?
No, it's Florida.
Yeah, the one where they just didn't go in. They were like piled up out in the parking lot.
It was somewhere in Florida.
Yeah,
but
I forget exactly where. But
yeah, that's not what you're supposed to do.
No.
You were not supposed to wait. Like in our active shooter training classes, they tell us to immediately make entry and eliminate the threat.
Yeah,
because like the longer you wait, the more lives are going to die.
Right.
But yeah, one of the classes I had on active shooter, like. That was the thing. Like once you got in there, like from the time you make entry or you're notified of it, you get in there and take out the shooter.
Right.
Like they had like a timer and they had like the math on like how many average people would have died, and they tell you like, all right. 12 people died. And then the next one goes through, like 6 people died.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like putting in your head like there's no time to wait.
Yeah, no, you can't waste any time at all in
Yeah.
that situation.
Yeah,
But,
I remember reposting the pictures of those 2 officers that went in there to that school, because man, like they, if I remember correctly, they went in and then they could hear the shots, and they end up making their way upstairs, and then they found the shooter in like a library that had like big open glass windows.
Yeah.
Dude, they rounded that corner and just like instantly.
and just ended it. Yeah.
Yeah. But that, I mean, textbook, man. Because
Yeah.
like the way that they cleared the building, like the techniques they were using, man, I could tell those 2 officers had trained together too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely tell that, because like just there's a whole science to clearing buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
And especially in an active, I mean, like so much stress, man. Like
Oh man.
knowing that person, I mean, they were in the video I saw, they were literally stepping over dead kids. And it's like, this is real. Like
Yeah.
this person's going to shoot at me,
Yeah.
try to kill me. I can either kill him or he kills me. you know?
Right.
And or her, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, the officer,
Wow.
the officer, like when he went into that library and ran it, it's called a button hook. The step he took, button hook around the corner, instantly target, doo. I mean, perfect, man.
That's all you can
Accuracy,
ask for in
dude,
that. Yeah.
perfect. Like he pulled up. I mean, I don't even think the other officer was there yet, because there was 2
Yeah.
that I saw. But he pulled up instantly, unracks his rifle, hits the bolt. I mean, makes entry. No time. I mean, none.
Got to.
Yeah, it
Got
was
to.
perfect response.
I don't know, but we're talking about how do you head that off at the pass? Like, maybe they put something on Facebook and you could see it a couple days ahead of time and you can intervene somehow. But
Yeah,
maybe
so
they don't, and it's.
How did she almost get caught in 21? Do you know about that?
I'll have to go back and look.
It was some kind of thread or something.
Yeah,
right?
it was
Like
some
a
sort of
social
thread,
media
like,
thing.
it was one of the girls she played basketball with at the school.
Oh, okay.
I believe.
Yeah.
Had mentioned something,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's.
I think that's right.
She must have been bullied or something. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of moving parts to that whole issue.
Yeah.
I don't think it can be just chalked up to one thing.
No,
And-
it couldn't be. And she had a lot of issues.
Yeah.
And maybe one of those issues was SSRIs or some kind of psychotropic drug.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the fact that she didn't have a father in her home growing up.
That was going to be my other
'cause
thing.
That's the other common denominator
Yeah.
with so many of these shooters is they didn't come from a
Yeah.
traditional nuclear family.
Yeah. Well, they don't have that stable household.
Yeah.
And the drugs, bullying.
Well, just
there's a host of stuff.
instability, and you live a life where your dad, you don't know who your dad is, or he's not around. Maybe you don't know where your next meal's coming from.
Yeah.
Your shoes are too small because you've outgrown them. That's the life that you're living, and then that comes out at some point.
Yeah. And then that bullying starts to create resentment.
Yeah,
Because like in her little manifesto, she named like a specific like little group
yeah,
of kid, like a what do you call it, a clique.
yeah.
Like she named one, and I read that and I'm thinking he or she, whatever, was most definitely like bullied by them. You know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, I think there's a lot of moving parts. Like,
Yeah.
you can't just say it's the gun. Take a gun. I mean, it's not going to work.
No, you can't. And
That's like meth is bad and it's illegal. Guess what? There's still
right. Let's
a
do something
million
about
people
it.
on it. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. The only thing you could do is to somehow eliminate every gun that ever existed, right? But then there would be something else because people are evil. We would find a way to kill each other.
yeah. Cain killed Abel with a rock.
Yeah,
It's
far back as anybody can remember, right?
I mean,
yeah, there's plenty of that going on before there was the firing cap was invented or any of that. And
Yeah.
I don't know. People are just rotten, man.
if you want to see how rotten people are, read the Old Testament. It's all in there.
Well, God wiped out entire civilizations
Yeah.
because the entire world at one point because they were just rotten.
Yeah.
But give people long enough, they'll show you who they are, and
Yeah.
you'll see. I know in your line of work, you see the worst in a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's not something that I think the average person even wants to imagine.
No. There's a lot of stuff I wish I had never seen, but yeah, it's seeing people at their worst is like really not a good thing to see every day.
Yeah.
It's really not.
Yeah.
Like it's the stuff that first responders are forced to see is just stuff that like the human mind is not designed to see.
Yeah.
Not in repetition.
Right.
You know, like the shock factor of seeing a dead person in a car in a wreck.
Right.
You know, once maybe, but like all the time.
2 or 3 times a week. Yeah.
Yeah,
or
maybe
more.
or a night.
Yeah.
You know, it's like after a point, man, like that I don't know. I can't explain the science of it, but like it really.
Yeah, I can't either. But I have always thought the same thing. Like there's so much.
Yeah.
That we're programmed to absorb. You know, a certain amount of death or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're talking about like just chaos in some of these scenes, and you have no idea.
That's what, like I was telling you earlier, I don't watch the news, man. I just can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
Like I can't. There's so much you have to deal with, like on the job.
You live the news.
Yeah,
There's no
like
sense
I
in
don't
watching it on
yeah,
TV too.
and like I just can't. I don't have any more space for negativity. I just don't. And
it's
like,
good though that you have that awareness about it, so you're not just continuing to absorb negativity.
I cannot. There's not enough space for it.
You got to have the capacity for that. I don't think the average person does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, never mind you guys who are live this chaos all the time. Like, I think we're just hit with so much information and it's just bad for us.
Oh
anyway.
yeah, and it's like if it bleeds, it leads. You know, like it's all negative. It's not. And some of it's not even true. You know, especially stuff that comes to law enforcement. Like they try to put their spin on it, and it's just not. I stay away from it.
Yeah,
I don't even have cable.
I don't blame you at all, man. We don't have cable either. We're looking at getting rid of the cable company that supplies our internet altogether, and
no internet.
Well, we're gonna have internet, but our rich uncle Elon Musk has got his thing going, with Starlink or whatever. So we're
wait. What is that? Tell me about that.
He's got it's internet that you just have at your you put a thing up on your roof and the satellites go around and beam the internet straight into your house.
How much is that?
I don't know. There's a pretty big upfront chunk, right? Like $300-400. Yeah, for the equipment, and then it's like $25 a month or something.
Wonder how.
You can take it with you wherever you want.
Oh really?
Throw it on your truck and go travel across.
Yeah, that's what we got a camper. We can take it with us and stick it on the camper and have internet in the middle of nowhere. And
I hadn't even heard of this because I don't have.
It's
the
a
news.
new thing. Yeah, Starlink. You got to get on Twitter at least.
Or X, you mean?
X. Yeah. I'm on X. X is, I don't know. X is weird, man. But Elon's making things interesting to say the least.
He is.
He's bringing us internet, and he rescued Twitter and the Babylon Bee. So he's a hero in my book.
But yeah, all of the first responders, man, they need your prayers. They really do.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
There's a lot of them that they don't have any they don't have any way to like healthy decompress.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the word to say, but they don't. I mean,
who would you talk to though? I mean, would you talk to another cop who's dealing with his own stuff?
No, and that's another thing, like the hostility among the own place you work at. Like, they're gonna probably poke fun at you and make a meme of you and put it as a background on the computer.
Right.
And, like, that's how it is. Like, and they mean well, but, like, that's just the reality of the way things are.
Right.
And, like, not everyone has a therapist to talk to, and they don't have a relationship with Christ. So that's when they start drinking or doing whatever it is. And then, like, dude, you talk about all that trauma, and then you come home, you're depressed or whatever, and then you drink. Where's that gonna go?
Yeah, you ain't got a chance.
I mean, and that's why they're all divorced, and I mean, they just, like you said a minute ago, man. I mean, we're not designed to take in that much. I mean, I read a statistic. It was like the average person experiences like I don't know, 1 to 3 traumatic events per however long. Like first responders, like 1 to 3 a night. You know, yeah. And that, like, there's some study about like the adrenaline up and down, like the effects of that it has on you. I mean, you're
just riding that roller coaster.
It's substantial
all the time.
Yeah.
When your adrenaline gland kicks in and that whole endocrine system's going, like, you can't do that but so many times.
Oh, you feel it too, like right after. You will feel it. I'll feel it. But I always tell people, like, anytime you ask a first responder, whoever, like, what's the craziest thing you've seen? That's a dangerous question to ask.
Yeah.
Because, like, if they have like undealt with trauma, like you just open it up.
Yeah.
Like it's
an irresponsible question to ask.
Yeah. Like you can ask me that. I'm fine. I've dealt with my stuff, but yeah, certain ones, man, that's not a good question to ask.
There are guys that I feel like if you ask them that question, like you might have to fight them because they would just rather not. I mean, you want to dig this stuff up again? Yeah. Even if they have dealt with it, like you don't want to find that image in your head again if you can avoid it.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing. Like they don't deal with it. And then it piles up, and then it becomes like an emotional or, whatever burden. And then they end up, drinking or becoming violent, depressed, get put on meds, whatever, man. Right. I mean, it's just like, it's like such a vicious cycle. Yeah. And I know you're on the same page with me about this, but like a relationship with God helps so much of that.
Oh, man, it has to.
Yeah. It
has to. And we kind of got into that some the last time you were on. But I mean, if trauma and chaos is your life, like you've got to have somewhere to go. Yeah. You can't only be trauma and chaos all the time, even if you're perpetuating it yourself by going home and trying to drown it or whatever.
Well, it's like Isaiah 6. It calls him wonderful counselor. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what he is for me.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. He's got to be. But I mean, I was having a conversation with somebody recently about counselor, that word specifically in the Bible, and then when you get into the New Testament, the Holy Spirit is referred to a lot of ways as the counselor. So it's there. We just got to take advantage of it.
Yeah, yeah. Where I work, we've recently started like a little small study group. So my Sunday school teacher is like one of my coworkers too.
Okay.
Yeah. So and he's working like in my place where I'm out now. Oh. So he so every week what we're reading through in our Sunday school group, like he just shares it with the people at work. Oh, okay. So yeah, there's probably,
so you get it twice when you're
well, I'm not at work, but he's doing it, and like they've added me to their little group, but like they meet and read over stuff, but just trying to encourage that among other first responders. Yeah. Man. I mean, it should be a necessity, man. And like they don't, like during the hiring process and the training, they don't tell you anything about that. Yeah. Like that'd be the last thing they tell you. Like, and when I was in the academy, like, there's like a 1-day section on like mental health, Yeah. And it was the most standardized cookie cutter garbage. Right. Like it was not the truth.
Just the bare minimum and the
no, it was not the truth. No. And, and a lot of agencies do a good job. Like I know the sheriff office here, they have like a full-time like chaplain, pretty much. And he does a great.
Thornton, he's great.
Yeah, man, he does a good job, and he's great. But like, not a lot of places don't have that, man. Like you go, if you went to someone and opened up about your problems, they're just gonna be like, "Can you make it to work tonight?" Like that's all they care about. It's like you are so disposable to them. Yeah, like. If you can't make it, tell me, quit now, we'll have you replaced tomorrow, that kind of attitude, and it's just like, it just...
I would just have to quit at that point, I think. I mean, I'm not going to, endure that and the trauma I'm going to see on the street.
Yeah, well, I've known people that have, that didn't get help, and like the help isn't always included in your insurance either. Right. So that's another problem, and it's just... It's not easy. It's not an easy fix.
I imagine not, man. Yeah. But I mean, a lot of police departments, it seems like at least that they struggle to maintain even a good wage to pay their guys. Yeah. And then when you start talking about training and mental health assistance and stuff like that, and then it becomes a budget issue. And, we can't afford that. And can you afford to lose officers because they can't, wrap their brains around the stuff they see on the street? That's the balance, I guess.
Yeah. And you're expected to be like so upright and just perfect. Right. I mean, and it's like these people call and they want somebody to talk. I'm like, buddy, you don't want to talk to us. Like we got, man, we're the last ones you should be talking to.
We got more problems than you do.
Yeah. And it's like, let me drum up this, what was the standardized response I'm supposed to tell this person?
Right.
And it's not that you don't care, but it's like, like you said, man, you can only take in so much. Yeah. It's like, at what point, when does it start like to negatively impact you, Yeah.
And I would think not very long, and even at that, I would think sooner than you think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Say you've been on the road for 6 months. Like, I bet it's already dug in by that point.
Yeah, especially like if certain things happen. Like when I was brand new, we had an officer get shot and killed, and we went out there and everything.
Yeah.
And I saw that, and I mean, like I'm talking, I was 3 days on the job.
Wow.
And saw that. Yeah, and you're talking the biggest culture shock of my life.
Yeah.
Well, I remember, dude, my heart rate was elevated for like the entire rest of the weekend. That happened on a Friday. Monday morning, I remember waking up and my heart rate was just like pumping, like the rest of the weekend. Like it wouldn't go down.
Yeah.
I would wake up in the morning and feel it, and I'm like, I guess that's just the physical response to it, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I don't know if that's better, if, you know, like that reaction is better than being numb. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen this 100 times now.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal anymore.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well,
not that anybody ever really numb.
Yeah. I mean, that was a different scenario because it wasn't a stranger.
Right.
It was another officer. You know, when they're wearing the same uniform as you and you know them and they're dead.
Well, and it could be you down there, right?
Very different.
And
Yeah.
But
yeah, the numbness thing. I mean, you do get numb. You do get numb to like bad wrecks, people hurt, you know, people beat up, you know, women beaten up, you know, like it's horrible. And you know that it's like, this is so bad, but like the shock factor that used to hit you just doesn't come anymore. You know what I mean? It's just like your mind is just automatically going to like, okay, what's the next step that I do here? All right, this, do it, you know, and it's like, and then you realize like, man, I haven't even like made these people feel like I'm here to help, you know, but it's like, I do, like, I really do. This is horrible, you know, like, but I've seen it 94 times already, you know, like, and that's the problem with, you know, police getting accused of being, you know, robotic or unemotional. And
I imagine so, right?
Yeah. And it's like, they really don't mean to be. It's just that your situation is not as unique to them as you would like for it to be. Yeah. Because, you're, you know, whatever happened to you and it happened to someone else yesterday
two
and he went
ago.
over there and dealt with that, you know, or 2 hours ago.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys do it every day. We call you when we need you, which hopefully is not very often.
I hope not.
But then you guys do it all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the amount of, I was talking with someone the other day about this, the amount of stuff that happens that the public doesn't even know about is just alarming.
I like it that way. You know,
you don't want to know.
I would just rather not know about. I know,
you don't want to know
the trauma that I've been through.
Yeah.
And I know that we weren't unique either, you know, and to think how many times does that happen? And
right.
How many times, you know, could I go to that crime scene or that accident scene as a...
Yeah, yours is a lot different. Yours, that's like another level of trauma, I think.
Well, that's what I mean. I did it once, and it was my son, and that was its own thing. But I imagine, like I had Kip Buford on, who was a firefighter that responded that night, and I've known Kip forever.
Yeah.
How many times can Kip go to that scene?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe you can do it once or twice.
Yeah.
And then you don't want to be a fireman anymore. I don't want to see that again, you know?
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah. I've been to a couple similar things, and I've heard that, like, it's so, like, counter whatever to see, like, your offspring go. Yeah. But, like, even just, like, I think that's for sure, like, number one.
Right.
But, like, below that is, like, seeing someone just, like, way younger than you go.
Yeah.
You know, like, children, you know,
that's
babies.
What I mean. Yeah,
like, it's just...
man, no, it's not natural.
No, it that still does shock me.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing that's just, like, the worst stuff.
Yeah.
But...
us, man, and people, like... I don't know, their kids have phones and unfettered access to the internet and all kinds of things. Man. And there's some real scumbags out there.
Dude, let me tell you, the amount of times that we've gotten called out to, like, a parent getting into their kid's phone and seeing these 30-something-year-old men, like, just, it will sicken you.
Yeah.
I mean, and, like, what do you tell them? You know, like, I can't tell them how to be a parent, but
Right.
like, I don't know, man. Like,
How you say, if I were you, I wouldn't do
Yeah.
any of these things that you've been doing.
yeah,
Yeah,
is
I don't
it
know.
too late?
Yeah.
But there was this one scenario that I was told about. I didn't have any dealings with this, but they were just telling me about this. The parents had like their phone locked down, like, you know, every single thing possible lockdown they could do.
Right.
Well, the kid had still found a way to find like basically instructionals on how to kill yourself.
Yeah.
Like there was a certain hashtag they were searching on a certain social media website.
That didn't ping any of the filters or anything.
No.
Wow.
And it was like, if you want to do it this way, do this. If you want to do this way. And it was like videos and step by step, and the parent found it. And I'm just thinking, like, man, what is the fix? You know, like,
yeah.
like I'm lucky enough that I grew up not having that kind of access to stuff,
Yeah.
but that's a whole new ball game now, man.
Yeah. I mean, I got my first cell phone when I was 24. And I didn't get a smartphone until I was 20. I was into my 30s. I was probably 31, 32. Like, I could pretty well handle it by the time I was 32, you know. Then we got our 9-year-olds have phones now.
Dude,
You know, and
I can't imagine it.
I can't either, but they're growing up. We've had to learn all this stuff. They're just
Yeah.
growing up with it. They're like little cyborgs now. They're just
Yeah.
one with their phone for their whole life. But then that opens them up to this whole world.
Yeah.
You know, we just got to be brave enough to be parents and to be bold enough to hurt our kids' feelings.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe they hate us for a little while, and maybe they don't. But hopefully, you know, we teach them the right way, and, you know, we train up the child in the way they should go, and when they're old, they won't depart from it.
Yeah.
That's what you're going for.
Yeah.
You know, I always tell people we're not raising kids, we're raising adults. Like, you stay kids for this long, and then you're an adult for this long. So that's what we're getting them ready for. And maybe that means they hate you for a couple of years in their teens, you know, and that's just what it is.
Yeah. Man, it's a scary thing. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, I know your boy Rob.
Yeah.
That's on here. I mean, heck, it burns him up.
Yeah.
Talking about that stuff.
It
but
does. He gets fired up. Tango, you was talking about it in here that night.
Oh, but rightfully so, though, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and the stuff's everywhere. I mean, that was I've been in law enforcement 7 years. That is by far the most alarming thing that occurred. How many pervs are out there, man?
All the pervs
wouldn't
are out
believe
there.
it.
Yeah.
Like, stuff as crazy as, like, parents will go to the beach and post the family photos on the beach, and the little kids in their swimwear or whatever.
Yeah.
And the pervs are on there, like, you know, that's what they're after, those pictures.
Right.
And I'm like, and those kind of people are everywhere, man.
Yeah. Golly.
Like,
yeah.
and like, I've been called out to scenarios where, like, their own family members are taking advantage of them, of, like, special needs.
That's crazy.
Children. I mean, just stuff is unbelievable, man. It's like, I couldn't begin to, like, come up with a statistic or number. I just know it's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, a lot more than I thought.
Well, and you're a cop in a really small town, you know, and you're still exposed to all these things.
All
so
the
it's
time.
not just Atlanta.
Oh, man,
or
I don't even
Detroit
know.
or, you know,
Yeah.
even Nashville or Memphis or
Yeah.
a place like that.
Yeah, like out in the sticks, man.
Yeah.
Like, you would think everybody's good old Bubba Joe.
Yeah.
Man. You wouldn't believe it. Like, I could start telling you stories, but it wouldn't be good to.
No, let's
Man,
not.
it's-
Let's not. There are things that, you know, I get the Cliff Notes on and I imagine the rest, and
Yeah.
it's
just know that, like, it like the way that Rob is so guarded, that's a good thing. I'll tell you,
Yeah.
that. It's a good thing.
yeah, it's got to be.
He may come off as, like, you know, whatever to someone. Don't care. I can tell you, he's on the right path.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. People call you a stick in the mud. You know, let your kids have any fun, or you don't have any fun yourself. I'm
Yeah.
like, man, I mean, what we talking about fun? How much fun is it once we're in danger? You know, once we've opened up the
Yeah.
door to some twisted,
Yeah.
you know, a parallel universe almost.
Yeah.
That,
Well, look at like on the Floyd Sheriff's Office app, they have, you can just go on there and see all the sex offenders and where they live. Dude, there's
Yeah.
so many.
they're everywhere.
They are everywhere.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. It's sickening.
No, it used to be. I mean, we had to, you know, we could run all over the neighborhood, and none of our moms knew where any of us were,
Yeah.
but we were at
Yeah.
somebody's house
One of the
or out in
four.
the woods
Yeah,
It's a different world now, though.
it is.
It is, man. And I'm glad, police especially, first responders are overworked and underpaid as a whole, but police especially get a bad rap a lot of times because you see all these YouTube videos and whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful that there are still people that'll do that job.
Yeah, I mean, I wish there were more that would do it because we're shorthanded and it makes
I think every agency is right
so
now.
hard. Well, we're close to full staff. Like, we'll get full staff for like a few months, then one or two people quit.
Yeah.
But we're not like some that are around here that are like 20 something in the hole. I don't know how they make it.
I was thinking not too long ago. I'm riding around and I was like, I haven't seen a cop since I don't know when on the road.
Yeah.
I see them quite a bit around here because the station's just around the corner here. But that was before I was working down here every day. But you just ride around Rome. And I couldn't tell you the last time I've seen.
Well,
every now and then.
Didn't James say it?
Yeah,
when he was on here. Like Rome is like short 20 something. Officers.
Short way. I think he said the number on Rob's. Was he here when he said that? I don't know. Either way,
it's in the ballpark of 20.
Way like understaffed.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why they're all leaving Rome, but I ain't gonna get into that. I'm sure he told you off air.
Yeah. Now we're all gonna get speeding tickets on the way home. Thanks a lot, Jeriah.
Yeah,
that's great.
About all they can do, right? They know how to fill that auto-populated information form out and hit print and go.
Bless their hearts.
That's another thing. The whole speeding ticket. Like, just hammer out, like, mindless.
How many speeding tickets have you ever written? 7
Zero.
years. Zero.
7 years
tickets.
I've written 0 speeding tickets. Tell me this. How is that impacting your community?
Tango, you want to take this one?
I mean, I've always had that belief. Before I even got into law enforcement, I thought that was the dumbest thing. I'm not going to sit in a car on the side of the road for 8 hours a day and play laser tag with the back bumper of cars going by. There are literally bigger fish to fry. I don't have the IQ of a grapefruit. I'm not just going to sit there.
Man.
That requires no skill. It doesn't even require a brain.
Yeah.
Why would you want to do that all day? I want to get out here and I want to arrest dangerous people, put criminals in jail.
Here we go.
Like, is that not what the cops are for?
That's what it's supposed to be, right?
And you wouldn't believe there is a small sect of cops that have that belief. The most majority of cops have that. Like, I just want to crank out a bunch of baloney tickets and like just make all the law-abiding citizens mad at me.
I mean, what do you get though? You Officer of the Year if you write the most speeding tickets? Like,
let me tell you this: I got Officer of the Year last year for making the most felony arrests at my agency.
Hey.
The most felony arrests. That means drugs, guns.
Yeah.
To me, that's a quality arrest. Like that.
Yeah.
That could impact the community. Like, I'm getting a dangerous person off the street.
Yeah.
And potentially, it's going to be up to the court to send them to prison. They're probably not, but
Right.
I did my part. That's a dangerous person. This dude is out breaking into cars, breaking into houses.
Yeah.
He's got stolen guns. He's on drugs. He's selling drugs. That to me is what makes a difference. Not writing you a speeding ticket on your way home. Like, you're not a criminal. Like, I'm not trying to sound bad, but you're not worth my attention. Like, I'm after a criminal, a bad person.
Right. Somebody's actually doing something bad.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I have always had that belief. I have always had that belief. Hit the table.
Tango right now.
Hit the table.
Yeah.
I mean, but like my friend Buck that I work with,
Yeah.
he's come to Scramble. He's the same belief of me. We talk about this all the time. Like, that's a whole argument. Like interdiction officers versus traffic Nazi guys.
Yeah.
Like, Buck and I are in a Facebook group that's like all interdiction. There's like across the nation. There's probably, I think there's over 100,000 in that group now.
None of y'all writing speeding tickets.
No. Like, we'll use it to stop a car.
Yeah.
But if we realize, this is Granny late for work. See you, honey. Have a nice day.
Right,
We're not. No, that's not what I'm here for. I want the drug trafficker. I want the guy that has, human trafficked people in his trunk. Or
Right.
I want a real criminal. I don't want this stupid speeding ticket. And I'm not saying that, like, don't stop and deal with a person that's going 150 in a 60 mile an hour zone.
You're not going to write a speeding ticket for that, right?
No, he's going to jail. I take that back. I think I did write one person, and it wasn't even speeding. It was like too fast for conditions. I was going on like the highway, And I was just like, I just totally zoned out. And this big truck with the pipes and all that comes, literally like melts the paint off my door. And I was like, what in the world is that? And I looked and I was like, that's not anyone I know. Like, they're not messing with me. So I go and stop them. And I was like, hey man, what are you doing? What's up? And he was like, oh, I was just seeing how fast it would go. And I was like, beside me, like in a marked car. And I don't think it was a real, like it was just like a written warning, like you're going too fast. I wasn't going to do the whole thing.
Down, bro.
I'm talking like blew past me.
Oh, man.
But yeah,
this is not totally unrelated. How frustrating is it when you're driving down the road and you get behind somebody who will not drive 1 mile per hour over the speed limit because there's a cop behind them?
Dude, it's very frustrating.
I always wonder, because I got the cop in my mirror, right? And I'm like,
what, do you want to roll the dice? Is he that traffic Nazi?
Well,
that
that's
wants
what
to
I'm
write
saying.
You? Or is he the one that has a brain and this is not a criminal, I'm not after him?
Yeah. So should I go, the speed limit's 40. Like if I go 48, because he's like this far from my bumper, like should I go faster?
Dude, I tell people, like, I wish I could get a flashing neon sign that I could just flip on, like, I am not here for you, please just go. Like, I just want to turn it on because I don't want to write you all the stupid tickets.
Well, I just always feel like he's probably going somewhere important, right? And here I am driving 44 and a 45,
punching a steering wheel.
But do you dare, like I'll just go 50 and get out of here? I wouldn't do that either. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
If I knew it was you, we would race. We would see how fast we could go.
But do you want to roll the dice on it? It could be some moron who was. And here's the thing I've noticed too. Typically, those ticket Nazi officers are I was bullied in high school guys. I worked with them. I know.
Yeah.
I know. I went to school with some of these people and I worked with them. I can tell you that's typically what it is. The officers that have a good idea of reality and like what our attention should be dedicated to typically are not the ones that was like bullied and got a chip on their shoulder. People,
right. What do you feel like the percentage is there? You don't have to say. I don't want to get you in too much trouble here.
No, I'll say, just let me think. I'll say that. So it depends on what stage of their career they're in. Okay. So like, just about any guy that's got 15 years or more on the job, he ain't hitting a lick other than what he's just got to do. I'm not saying they don't do their job. They'll do their job, but they're not out just drumming up, like writing all these baloney tickets. So it's typically among people like within their first like 5 to 10 years.
Okay.
But of those, man, I'd say it's probably close to like half. Maybe. It's probably close to half.
Yeah.
I'm lucky, man. Like, there's a lot of people that I work with that are like, they know which fish are worth frying. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like Buck and some other people I work with.
Well, I guess those are just the two types of people who are going to sign up to be police officers.
Yeah. Like people that want to actually make a difference and they know what would make a difference. Or the people like, oh, I was bullied relentlessly and I just want to get out here and write people.
So they're either law enforcement or they
become the bully.
So they're law enforcement or they're like youth sports referees.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah.
Dude, I see the videos and that just so ridiculous, man. Like, just the baloney arguments on the side of the road over window tint. That's the dumbest thing ever, man. Like, what? Like, I get it. Like, it could be a threat to law enforcement if your windows are totally blacked out and you want to shoot me. But once I get up there and realize that you're not that guy, why would I want to write you a ticket for it? Like, I don't know, man. I work with a handful, man. They just live for that ticket, and I mess with them a lot. Like, I'll go in there and get the ticket book out and flip through it, and I just like scrutinize everything.
Disapproving face.
Yeah, like just man, waste of time, baloney. And I tell them like, hey, dog, you could have arrested. Let's say you wrote 20 of these tickets here.
Oh, man. 2
felony arrests, getting 2 real criminals off the street, putting them in jail would have been done way more for the community than all this baloney you just got here.
Man. I gotta feel like, the police department probably operates at a deficit just about as a principle.
Yeah.
Like as a rule, but like, I don't know, I don't think writing more speeding tickets is the answer.
No, that's like you just said. Like, if
we're
you're
all in so much trouble now.
I don't care. I don't care.
You don't care. You got lights on top of your car.
I'll tell whoever you want to argue about this. I'm here to argue.
All right, let's do it.
It's just stupid, man. Like, we're already shorthanded. there's criminals out there that are just roaming, like just uncontested.
Yeah.
They're breaking in your tool shed. They're stealing cars. They're violent. They're high on drugs. They live in a world with no laws.
Yeah.
And yet, but does it make any sense for me to divert my attention to a 72-year-old lady with no seatbelt on? Why?
Yeah.
It's just, and I'll tell you why. Because, and this is something else I've noticed, it's just my opinion, but typically they're after those little, we call them Mickey Mouse traffic stops, because they know that the likelihood of like a serious confrontation coming from that is low. I mean, that's really it.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, I guess.
Yeah. But if you reverse it and you set your sights on like people that are on the run with warrants, that are looking at going back to prison, don't want to go back. They're going to fight you over that. They're going to even shoot at you over that. You're aiming it to get, just like you come into work, all right, we got these 4 guys, felony warrants, but all of them are looking, they're going back. You know what I mean? They're hiding out. They know we're after them. They got weapons. They do meth. They're going to shoot at us, but we want these 4 people. That's what the cops should be doing.
Right.
I'm not sitting over here on the highway. Oh, Granny goes by, 2 over the speed limit, no seatbelt, 2 tickets.
Let's get her.
No, I want the criminals, man. The dangerous people. They're out here. They're victimizing humanity in my jurisdiction. They're the ones I need to get.
Right.
It burns me up, man.
I'm glad you're out there, man. I really am.
Hey, whatever. But I've always thought that way. Like when I was a teenager, I thought the same thing. Like the stupid tickets, man. I just thought this is the dumbest thing. Like there's more. He can't even show his face. He's laughing so much. Well, I feel like I'm in a position where I can say it. I mean, I can speak it. I've seen it. I've done it.
Yeah.
Like when I first started, I tried the whole let's just write tickets. I'm bored.
Right.
And then it just I almost found myself I was heartbroken. Like I wrote some people some tickets, and it just dawned on me. I thought to myself, what impact did I just make?
Did you serve or protect the guy not wearing his seatbelt?
I didn't. And then I remember this one, man, I stopped this guy, and I'm ashamed even till I'm ashamed
getting the truth out
to tell this story.
Podcast.
But this was one of my final things. Yeah. I stopped a dude. He had 2 kids in the back seat, and they weren't in their car seats. Well, I remember when I first started, someone told me, "Oh man, that's when you always get onto them. No kid not in a car seat." And I'm like, I understand the spirit behind it. Kids are important; they need to be protected. But this dude was poor.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, so I wrote him the ticket and that's your normal seatbelt ticket. I think it's $10, $15. The child restraint ticket is a lot more.
Right.
And I wrote him the ticket, and it was cold. I remember it being cold, and I remember thinking man, dude, he might not be able to buy them Christmas gifts now because of that baloney ticket I wrote him.
Yeah.
Me stopping him and having that talk with him was more than likely enough for him to realize that, this is something that, he gets it. He's not stupid. He's poor, but he's not dumb. He doesn't need that ticket, And then that was one of the final things. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Yeah. I'm not writing these tickets, man. I want the dangerous people off the street. Because, typically, you're law-abiding people, when you stop them and write them a ticket, one of the first things they're going to say is, there's that drug dealer down the road. Why ain't you messing with him?
Yeah, good
and
question,
you know what?
right?
I agree with you 100%. You're right. That cop needs to shut off his lights, rip up that ticket, and go down there and try to get the drug dealers off the road.
Yeah.
But I'm done with my soapbox.
There you go. I mean, I was going to let you roll as long as you wanted to.
Nah,
How long we been
I could be here till Tango be over there asleep. I'll still be talking
I don't know.
about it.
You got him.
561 minutes ago.
There you go. You got all night. This is
the group we're in is called Street Cop Training, and it's funny enough, man. It started by a guy who's not in law enforcement anymore. He got out, but he got out with the purpose of starting that group to train cops on how to be real cops.
Right.
And they go pretty much all over the nation now. I mean, he's hit it big, but he came to a class and taught in Carrollton. And it's paid courses, but our agency, well, hey, we're good enough. They paid for 5 or 6 of us to go. It was $200 a pop. Yeah, we went, and he was the funniest guy, man. He he was talking about the cops that write the tickets and they think they're saving the world, and he was like, man, you're just making everyone mad. And his words, he said this is literally what he said. He said, just being a cop is not just being a dick and writing tickets. That's what he said. And then he said, and he was like, and I'll go ahead and tell you now. He said, you're out there wearing your thin blue line T-shirt. Take that shirt off and hang yourself with it.
Oh,
that's what he said. Yeah. I mean, he said it to the whole class. Of course, he knows that we're not the ones that are doing it.
Right.
So funny. Like, he is just like so spirited in his beliefs, man.
Man.
And he's from Jersey. The dude is from New Jersey.
Oh, okay. So it just comes out,
he's
right?
got that. Yeah. Like, he was making fun of my name like the whole time in the class. He's like, Jeriah, like, what planet are your parents from? You know, like saying stuff like that. Of course, I don't take heart to it, but
yeah,
just so funny. But yeah, that's the name of the group. But yeah, that's the cops need to be cops and not ticket generating morons.
I mean,
yeah, road pirates. Yeah. Like another story. This is the final thing.
I'm going to wrap this thing, or you're going to get us all.
Final story.
Go ahead.
Final story, man. We had a guy that worked with us. Love him to death. Great guy, nice guy, whatever. He was the dude that wrote 1 billion tickets and thought he was saving the world.
Yeah.
Well, at one point in time, he ended up getting frustrated with agency over something stupid. I can't remember what it was. And he went on our system and pulled up like his statistics of how many tickets he wrote and did the math. Yeah, he did the math. And he said, man, I've generated this agency over $2.3 million. And I looked at him. I said, do you understand where that money goes when they pay a ticket? It doesn't go to your agency.
You get about this much of it.
You get cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
Like for each ticket, you got us like 2 cents. Like literally like 2 pennies. He didn't even know it. He said, huh? I said, yes. They didn't tell you this in the academy? This guy's been a cop twice as long as I have. I said, yes, dude. They literally. And so he got to looking into it. And he said, man, you're right. Like 25% of it goes to the state. Another 30 goes to the judge's retirement. I mean, it gets divvied up, and then like a cents on the dollar. And I was like, "Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, you're not even.
You've made the department 11 cents,
and you pissed off 4,800 citizens who abide by the laws, dude. Like, everyone hates you, dude. Everybody hates you.
Go ahead and say his name. Don't say
no,
his
I'm
name.
not gonna say his name. No, he's a good guy. He is a great person.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not.
It was just a moment of realization for him.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to attack his character because he's a
Yeah.
good dude. He just doesn't have that perspective on things. I'm like, dude, everyone hates you, bro. Like,
That's tough.
are you okay with that? Like, I'm not. I don't want everyone to hate me. Like, I want people to like me because I got a dangerous person off the street. Like,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure everyone can get behind that. Like, when I was a kid and I watched the little cops and robber things, like,
Yeah.
that was the premise behind it. They got a robber off the street, bro. Like, that's
Yeah,
a
that's a
dangerous
big
person.
deal.
That's
Yeah.
a big. Yeah, that's a big thing. Like,
Oh man.
get out there and just like road pirate a 85-year-old lady for no seatbelt. Don't get it.
Bless her heart.
And I'm sorry for the officer that wrote you the speeding or what ticket you said you got on Facebook that when you and I were talking.
Oh, what were we talking about? Which one was it? Was it the one that got thrown out?
It was me, you, and Tripp on there talking, and you said that
Yeah.
someone had written you a ticket.
I got
Was
out of a.
was it another state or
No, it
was it here?
was somewhere. I don't know where it was.
Okay, definitely wasn't here.
I'm not. Definitely not.
I'm sorry.
It was. I guess the guy was writing it and stopped and then started. I don't. That's the only thing I can figure. But it said I was going like 50 and a 25 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But he wrote that I was going 550 miles an hour on the ticket,
550,
which I guess is enough to throw the whole ticket out because it's not correct.
You know
or
what?
whatever.
I'm glad they threw that out.
So the
'cause
judge was like, "Yeah,
you don't
can't."
need that ticket.
No, I was, I don't know, 16, 17.
You don't need that ticket.
It was going to be, I don't know what, like, yeah, they used to charge, I guess, like a certain amount per mile per hour over or whatever. And,
Did they?
yeah, and I was figuring it up, and I was like, it's going to be like $6,000.
Man, I got one in McMinn County, Tennessee. This was after I was a cop.
Yeah.
When Kelsey was living in Knoxville, I'd go up there on the weekends, and I got stopped, and he wrote me a speeding ticket. I think it was like $215 for that. And I didn't even tell him I was a police or nothing. He just straight wrote it. Just came back.
You didn't do the thing where you make the badge fall out of the sun visor?
No,
Oh, look at
I
there.
don't even carry it. Like I don't even
I don't
have
blame
it. And I'm thinking, well, if I tell him, he's just gonna think I'm lying.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, he straight wrote me, and it was like $215. Man, it was.
That's
to
tough.
McMinn County, Tennessee. Yeah,
Bless their hearts. I'm sure they all got raises. That guy's probably off for the year.
he thought
Bless his heart.
all $215 went
all
to his.
going to the department.
Man, that goes straight in my check.
Man, so from here, here's a challenge to Burnham Podcast listeners. The next time you get a speeding ticket, you need to donate the same amount of money to your local church.
Yeah,
Just go ahead and double it up. And if you're a cop out there writing ridiculous speeding tickets,
stop.
you should donate 10% of the ticket value that you write to your local church also.
If you're a cop out there doing those tickets, join the Street Cop Training group on Facebook and just start reading the posts. You'll see what I'm talking about.
There you go.
They'll post. There's links to training on how to be a real cop. I'm serious. That's how they approach it. I mean, that's not police work. It requires no skill. Doesn't even require a brain.
This is Jeriah Tucker saying all this stuff.
No, the people that I'm talking about, he has his own podcast, and it is comedy gold, man. He was on there one time with a guy, and he said, he was like, look, he's from Jersey. He said, look, bro, I told a guy one time. I said, look, he said, I could literally train a civilian to do the job that you do in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes, he can do your job just as good as you can. How does that make you feel?
You even have to pull the trigger.
Yeah,
on
he
the
calls
radar
it.
gun.
He calls it laser tag with the car bumpers.
Yeah,
is what he calls it. And he was like, "You're playing laser tag with rear bumpers of cars, man." He was like, "That's what you signed up to do, right? Is that what you want to do?" Yeah.
Fun stuff though. Mm-hmm. And you get to play with cool toys and drive a fast car. Like, I don't know. Maybe it goes to some folks' heads, but not to you. You got it all figured out. You're the
No, I don't have it all figured out.
best cop in the world.
No, I do not. No, I work with some good ones. I really do. Like we've got a lot of good ones. Like my friend Buck. You'd met him. You know, he comes to Scramble. He was recently on another podcast on Keith's podcast the other day. Yeah, but yeah, and James that you had on, he's a good one. I know.
James is a solid dude.
Yeah, he taught some of my mandate.
James he's kind of graduated from the street into that training role, but
I'm happy for him, man. He's he went through all that training to be the instructor because I was signed up to go to instructor training before this happened.
Oh yeah,
yeah, they had me signed up to go to the class until this. So, but yeah, the training that he went through to get that kind of job it takes a lot, man. Yeah. Like he put in the time and effort for that.
James is a solid dude. Mm-hmm. He's got a good heart.
Yeah, him and really all the instructors up there are good. Well, they're different now than the ones that was going through when I was there. But him and Meringue, that are up there, they're all good people, man. They're all Christians, and you know that their hands are kind of tied because like the training they give you is very standardized,
right?
But they try their best, man. They really do.
That's all they can do, I guess. I mean, you just you do what you're allowed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, they don't crank out a bunch of ticket writers.
They do not encourage that in their academy. I can tell you that. That comes from
highway pirates. Is that what
road
the road pirates?
Road pirates. Yeah. Dude, I don't know where that comes from.
I don't know. It's kind of funny though.
I don't know.
You know where the origin for that is?
The origin of the road pirates because they drive in these unmarked vehicles and pull up next to you and then they pull you over like a pirate would.
Yeah, like hold you up for your money. Yeah.
Pull up next to you and raise the black flag.
That's
and
exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, it is what they're doing.
None of these are tango statements.
Every one of y'all. Next one of you stops me is getting a 45-minute Bible lesson on the side of the road.
I'll write it and it'll be my saying. I'm telling you, man, that stuff's ridiculous. It is so ridiculous.
We should wrap it up before we all get retaliatory stopped on the way home from wherever. I don't know. It would be Sunday. Can you go back and edit out like the last 45 minutes of this so we can all continue to live in this town?
Sorry.
Oh, you're good, man. It's all right. My friend the cop said it was okay.
Let them take it out on me.
That's it. That's what we'll do. But man, we're going to jump off right there. It's been awesome. I've had a great time. Thank you for coming back. We'll do it again sometime.
Yeah, thank you for having me back, man. That's great. I appreciate what you're doing and, giving normal people like me and everyone else a time to have the floor and
that's what it's all about, man.
Rant about road pirates.
That's it. That's it. But thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
God bless you guys. We love you. See you next time.
Thanks.
Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.